What's up, entrepreneurs? Brand with Credit here, back with another video. So no successful brand grows and thrives without being consistent in messaging and design. It's crucial to your business, but it's so much more than colors, fonts, and your logo. It tells people that you care about what you're putting out there, that you live up to what you promise, and it should show some of your brand's personality because it's also about having an identity that people can relate to. And if all of your branding is consistent, you'll meet your perfect client's expectations, show that you're an authority as a coach, consultant, or professional service provider, and also show that you're reliable. You'll get the leads, the customers, and most importantly, the conversions, the revenue. So if you do one thing in your brand, make sure it's consistent. Being consistent in your branding is giving the same brand messaging, voice, and visual elements in every graphic and every piece of content that you put out there. So this ensures visibility and recognition to your perfect client, so you stay on top of their minds, especially when they need you the most. So I want to talk about design and visual consistency though. Design consistency is one of the main pillars of recognition for brand identity, and a lot of times it's overlooked. Every element of your brand's design aesthetic should look like it belongs together. Each piece complements the other, so the information is balanced and it's easy for your perfect clients to understand. So when you're getting to know somebody and you start to form opinions based on how you interact with them, right? So if you saw them dressed in a 3-piece suit one day and then a holey shirt with some shorts and flip-flops the next day, you might have a hard time figuring out who this person is or what they represent. Of course, this person still might pique your interest, but would you be comfortable doing business with them?
No.
We as people are creatures of habit. We're comfortable with things that are familiar. When we're familiar with something, we trust it more. So this concept applies to design as well. Established brand identities understand consistency, and they're diligent when enforcing any brand rules related to their brand. Anybody who's worked in a creative or graphic design position should have received brand guidelines from their clients. As a coach, consultant, and professional service provider, you should have brand guidelines too. This is your brand style guide. It outlines what designers can and can't do with your brand elements like your logo, your color palette, your fonts, and your imagery. The goal is to maintain consistent identity throughout your online and offline identity. Consistency doesn't keep you guessing. You'll know a Coca-Cola product or company asset as soon as you see it, even if it's not spelled out. All you need to see is their famous red and the outline of the bottle, and you make the connection with Coke. Now, I know I talk a lot about Coca-Cola, well, Coke Zero, because it's my favorite, and has always been. Plus, they have such an amazing brand presence with their brand and their marketing strategy and their visuals. So I love Coke all around. So anyway, their marketing might even evoke some memory that you've had with the product, mixing Coke's brand story with your history. Ain't that powerful?
Yes.
I remember really feeling the Christmas spirit when Coke started rolling out the cans with the polar bears and the commercials with the polar bears. So they don't use the polar bears in their branding anymore, but that's the power of consistency for a brand identity. They've made a consistent impression on us so many times that we know everything about their products without even needing to see them. We recognize the core foundation of their brand and design. So when they release something new, we already understand who it's coming from. It's dependable, it's trustworthy, and it's comfortable. Brand recognition is very powerful, as you can see in the Coca-Cola example. But what happens when you change the design of a product or service incorrectly? Let me tell you about Tropicana. So in 2009, they went through a brand redesign, a brand refresh, if you will. This was a big mistake. It cost the company over $137 million and a 20% decrease in sales for the product, the Tropicana Pure Premium.
Oh my goodness.
It was a result of them not being consistent. Their strategy didn't match their visuals. Now, even though the redesign looked nice, the company lost the recognition that it had built with its perfect client by taking out what was iconic to their product and their brand. Tropicana's signature visual element on its packaging is that fresh orange with the straw poked in it. So this design was how people knew Tropicana. So replacing that orange literally cost them millions of dollars in losses. And within a few months of this debacle, Tropicana had reverted back to its original design. Now, business makeover can be a good thing. Don't get me wrong, like most things, there's exceptions to the rule. You can absolutely improve and add value with a redesign. However, it should be a refresh of your brand's existing assets without throwing away any of the brand equity that you created or that you have. Sometimes a brand refresh can help bring you back in the game, like what happened with Herbal Essences in 2013. So they used aspects of their older design in the 90s to appeal to a newer demographic. So if your business hasn't had a chance to develop a strong, established brand, a complete rebrand is what's going to help you get on track to accurately represent your values, your brand personality, and your brand's messaging. Consistency in design refers to maintaining the alignment of values and visuals created and developed by your brand's identity. It's about making sure that when your perfect client interacts with your brand and its design multiple times, they know for sure that it represents you. Consistency is about making your perfect client comfortable choosing you over and over again. Think about going to your favorite restaurant. When you go, you know what to expect. That's why you keep going back consistently. The same is true for your brand and your design. Your perfect client, they want to know what to expect from you, especially when it involves their money. They want to feel comfortable knowing that you're going to deliver an experience that's worth their investment. And it all starts with perception, the first impression that you make. When nobody knows who you are in the market, new customers won't know off the bat if you're worth their money. So they investigate. They check out your website, they check your social media, they check testimonials, they check reviews, all of that. So when they do investigate, you want to make sure your brand is presented as clearly and consistently as possible. Okay, hear me out. So when everything is going well and your design is great, nobody notices, right? Because it's expected. It's not until something is out of place with your design that people notice. So this goes back into the comfort piece. When your perfect client doesn't understand what you do based on the designs that you're putting out there, they're not comfortable anymore. They're confused and they're reluctant to re-engage with your brand. And that's not good for your brand identity. So this is mostly true in how you present or misrepresent your brand. So from a workflow perspective, maintaining consistency is extremely beneficial for your budget and for your time. Consistency in design makes it so that there's no time wasted in creating the overall aesthetic values of your design, the overall look of your design. From social media post design to the flyers for your events, to the posters, to the websites, there's no second guessing on how to best represent your brand. The foundations are already established, so the focus is on the concept and the message. So here are a few basic tips on how to achieve brand consistency. Create guidelines. So this takes any guesswork out of the design process for creating anything for your brand, saving time and saving money. On your website, make sure it's responsive so people understand how to navigate through your site. If your site isn't responsive or it looks confusing, folks are going to get frustrated and your site's bounce rate is going to be high and you're not going to get any conversions.
Oh no.
Keep your designs similar. Keep your designs clean. The less mental gymnastics that your perfect client has to do in order to understand what you're trying to convey with your design, all the better. Keep your colors consistent with your brand. So staying within the same color, it builds recognition, of course, better consistency. That's what this video is all about, brand consistency. Now, there may be times that your design is, a different color based on the event, but make sure that it still represents your brand at the core. From a functional and emotional standpoint, design consistency is the same as reliability. And reliability is the key in what helps your perfect clients believe in your brand. Now, don't think that consistency is the same thing as being stagnant. It's okay to be in your brand identity a little bit when you already have that strong foundation, as long as your messaging is the same and you're talking directly to your perfect client. However, if you bend your brand identity incorrectly, you're going to confuse your perfect client like Tropicana. When you're branding or rebranding your business, it's important to have a visual marketing strategy and dedicated designer to make sure your brand is consistent online and offline. So tell me in the comments, what are you doing to make sure your brand is consistent? Do you have brand guidelines? If you answer no to having brand guidelines, or you don't have an answer to making sure your brand is consistent, then you need help with visual marketing strategies and design. And that's okay. So if you're a coach, consultant, or professional service provider and you need help with visual marketing strategies and design, check out my Brand Traction Monthly Consulting Services, where you work one-on-one with me to help with your overall brand strategy, and I help you create consistent content and visual marketing strategies for your brand. You can apply to work with me at brandwithcreta.com/apply. If you need more information about it before you apply, check out the link in the description below. So thanks for watching, and I will see y'all next time. Bye now.